So working on login window. For example, my scenario is this is the orange HRM page. So in this page, what is my scenario is just I want to check the username and password. See. So scenario format, scenario ID, description, requirement ID, expected results, expected time, and the test case, number of test case you've been written. So scenario ID. So you need to mention your ID, serial number, requirement. What is the requirement? Login window, registration. For example, you're working on Gmail page, right? Something like. So you need to work on login window, registration, inbox, compose, chart, draft, whatever the modules are present, you need to mention each and every mention. So that comes under requirements, right? So now in the scenario IDs, just you need to mention the ID, login, registration, inbox ID, compose, description, verifying Gmail login page, checking the new user registration details, checking the user new mails and inbox in inbox window, right? So similarly, requirement ID 1, requirement 2, requirement 3. These are all the different requirements. So you need to write separately for the verifying the Gmail page. You need to write the test cases. So for username, password, browser, page, and you need to write check for the username, OK button, cancel button, forgotten password. So those things we need to mention separately, and you need to write the test case for all these things. So that depends upon your requirement. So just okay. So the first requirement is verifying Gmail page. So we are working on different page now. So when you based upon their application, you need to mention your. So just I'll create a scenario for this new sheet which I already created up. Serial number, requirement, scenario ID, description,
మీ వాయిస్ స్టక్ అవుతుంది నాకు.
requirement ID, requirement ID. Now can you hear me?
యా సార్ ఓకే.
1 second, 1 second. Okay, is it audible?
ఓకే సార్.
Requirement serial number, requirement ID, scenario ID, description, requirement, and expected count, how many number of test cases you can return, how long it will take to complete this process. So just I'm going to write scenario 1, serial number 1. First one is requirement. So I'm going to change it to verifying. We'll try to work on this page, madam. So that says new tours. In this page, first of all, I want to check the sign in button. Next, I want to go for register. Third one is, so we need to go for the third is support. Fourth one is contact. These are the four requirements. Okay. So first requiring verifying sign in button. Next, scenario ID SC underscore sign on. Description, verifying the sign on page from new tours dot demo aut.com, right? Requirement RQ underscore 001. Expected, you cannot say how many test cases you can get. If I'm expecting 7 test cases to build, how long it will take to complete that process? Just for my case, 30 minutes to build. Second one is requirement ID. So verifying registration, SC underscore verifying registration from new tools dot demo aut.com. So now requirement underscore 002. So you cannot expect how many test cases. By expecting, we can write 10 test cases or something like. Just it takes half an hour. Third one. So it is then verifying support, right? So verify support SC underscore support verifying support from new tours dot demo .com. Requirement underscore 003. Sorry, it's written here. So I need to write requirement underscore 003. Next. So you can write expected, it's not mandatory. So next one, fourth requirement, verify. Next one, the last one is contact. Contact. Verifying contact icon from new tools dot demo aut.com. Requirement 4 minutes. Okay. Okay, so these are all my requirements. So first one is verifying sign on, second one is registration, third one is support, fourth one is contact. Okay, so these are all my requirements. Now based on this is actually we'll say it as we'll write as test scenarios. Test scenarios. Next we'll go for UI test case. UI test case. So for which one we need to write for login window, separate for sign on button. Okay, sign on button. Okay, so if every time, for example, working on sign on, you need to write UI test case, main functionality, execution, defect report. Similarly, registration could same thing. UI test case, main functionality, defect report, submission. For every requirement, we need to follow the same structure. Okay, so I'm going to prepare the UI test case for sign on button. So first requirement. So I change it to UI test cases for sign on button. So sign on button. So what are the things we need to have? Sign on button low. So we need to mention next color of the window. Color of the window. Next need to mention the color of the window. Size of the window. Alignment. Elements from the window. So you need to make alignment. Whether they have been aligned properly or not. Next, overlapping. Overlapping. Next, so when I click on the sign on button, what are the things to be have? Username, password, submit. Okay, so username, icon, username, comma, password, submit, icons, are in active mode. I'm not going to check that elements are working or not. Just I'm going to check whether the elements are in active or in deactive mode. Okay, username, password, submit. Icons are in active mode or not. Next, is there anything else? Inner text. Inner text is present in the window. Next, in the same window, home. These are the links. So all the links are in active mode. All the links are in active mode. Next, logo is existing. Logo is existing on the window. Next, any other things? Menu bar. Is there any menu bar? No menu bar. No menu bar. So you can mention as no menu bar. No menu bar is in active mode. On the window. Okay. So these are the things we need to mention the UI test cases, right? So once you prepare it, now based on that, we need to write your input domain test case. Input domain test cases. So you need to prepare your input domain test cases. So here we should have to know what do you mean by input domain test case. So UI describes about describing the structure of the function. Next, input domain mainly explains about BVA and ECP concepts. BVA, nothing but boundary value analysis. ECP, equivalence class. Just 1 second. Okay. Equivalence class partition. Okay. So boundary value analysis mainly explains about range and type. Range and type mean how many characters does it accepts. And equivalence class partition mainly explains about what are valid and invalid terms. What are the valid and invalid terms? Those two will comes under. So this is the UI test cases. So UI test case mean describing about and input domain and BV and ECP concepts. Boundary value analysis and equivalence class partition. So boundary value analysis, which mainly explains about range and type, and equivalence class partition mainly explains about valid and invalid terms. Invalid terms. Okay. Equivalence. So type expected values, actual values, type minimum maximum, maximum minus 1, maximum plus 1. What is the minimum value? So how many characters the username is accepts? How many characters the username accepts? So for example, consider as username. Username is Mercury. So altogether 7 characters. So password is also 7 characters. So minimum is 7. Minimum minus 1 is 6. Minimum plus 1 is 8. Maximum is 7. Maximum minus 1 is 6. 6. And maximum plus 1 is 8 characters. 8 characters. Okay? 8 characters. Now, expected value. Minimum minus 1. Whether it will accept 6 characters? Minimum 7. 7 లోపల ఉండొచ్చు కదా. So, but false. False. Maximum 7. True. False. False. Okay. Actually is true. False. False. True. False. False. So what is your actual test result will be? True means pass. Fail. Fail. Pass. Fail. Okay. So this is how we are going to prepare your boundary value analysis. If they have mentioned the range, then only you need to prepare BV. Else you don't need to go with the EV boundary and equivalence class partitions. Right? ECP, valid terms and invalid terms. Valid and invalid. Valid and invalid. Valid is Mercury. It should accept only Mercury. So only these terms will not. So other terms cannot be acceptable. Other terms are not acceptable in this part. So you can write as only lowercase. It should not accept any upper cases in this part. So A to Z is accepted. And capital A to Z is not acceptable. Capital A to Z is not acceptable. Okay, next. What are the valid terms? Next, you can go. And it should not accept 0 to infinity. Should not accept. Next, it should not accept any special signs. Okay. So these are the things which are not acceptable for this. Valid terms and any terms. And what are the minimum values? So once you prepare it, now we are going for the next one is, so you need to write your main functionality. So once this is over, now we'll go for defect. Now we are going to write test cases. We are going to write the test cases for this. So for that, I'm going to UI test cases are written. Input domain, right? So I copy the input domain, everything here. Only input domain test cases. Okay. So these are all the UI test cases. Okay. Now once you prepare it, now we'll go for main functionality. We are going to write the test cases for this. So just create on that and you can write the main functionality. So I'm going to mention as test cases. Okay. So what are this? What are the elements present in the writing the test cases? So here I am going to prepare the test case for the format is. So here see test case ID. Okay. The first part is ID, scenario ID, description, prerequisites, steps, test steps. So actual is expected values, actual values, and the test results. So this is the overall part of your writing the test cases. So I'm going to prepare test case ID. What is ID? TC underscore 001. What is the scenario ID? C. Which scenario you are going to prepare? Scenario ID. This is a scenario ID. SC underscore sign. Sign on. Description. So first one is sign on. Description. Checking the functionality. Before that, whenever you're working on sign on, first you need to open your browser page, right? So checking the functionality for opening Chrome browser. So Chrome browser. So browser is in active mode. Steps. Step 1. Test step. Chrome browser. Next. expected results. So how you are going to open the Chrome browser? So click on Chrome icon through desktop. Through desktop, the browser should. So the browser should open. The browser should open. So actual results, we'll see that later. So we're going right up to this part. Okay, next one is PC underscore 002 SC underscore. What is the second scenario? Same sign on only. There is no difference in that. We are working on sign on button. Na? So checking the functionality. Just I'll do one thing. Second one. So checking the functionality for opening. What's the page? New tours dot demoaut.com, right? .com. Here I'm going to work. So prerequisite, okay. Step two. So what is the page? New tours. So type, okay. Type HTTP. So I need to mention the URL of the page. So I'll copy the URL. So just go to the home page. I want to open my URL. This is the URL. So type okay and click on search button and click on search button. So that's the second scenario. Next TC underscore 003. So next so opening, checking the functionality for opening new tools page. So step 3. Now once you click on that, we need to work on sign on button. Okay, so sign on window. So sign on page. So already if you click on that, sign on page should open, right? So now what I need to do, working on sign on button. So what is the sign on in that? We need to check your username and password. So how many positive and negative scenarios we can write it over? If both are valid is a positive and remaining are negative. So negative scenarios. Valid username, invalid password. Invalid username, valid password. If both are invalid. If valid username with null character. Invalid username with null password. If both are null. So there are many possibilities where you can test the functionality for the login window. So how many, based upon the functionality, you need to write all the possibilities. So you need to divide them into positive and you need to mention them in the negative also. So I'll write everything in the positive negative in the same time. So sign on button. So verifying. So I'll do one thing. In the test steps, I'll write as valid username, valid password. Click on sign on button. Okay, click on sign on button. So here I'm going to write specifying username with the Mercury, Mercury, and password Mercury, and click on sign on button. By using the above steps, the sign on, the home page should open. Home page should open. Okay, should open. So here I'm going. Now here you no need to worry about the actual results. So next TC underscore 004. So sign on. So same thing, checking the functionality for username and password. Okay, username and password. So step 3, step 4. Okay, step 4. Valid username, valid username, invalid password. Valid username, invalid password. So valid username with invalid password, click on sign on button. Sign on button. So specifying valid username is Mercury, right? So Mercury, and password is, Mercury 123. Mercury spelling mistake. Okay. So I'm going to write Mercury